Welcome to Biz Dev Live. My name is Cameron Toth, and I'm the host of Biz Dev Live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Went a little late today, but I want to tell you a story about mentorship. I spent some time at Manhattanville College early in my food service career, and I had a great manager there, and I have a great story to tell about mentorship. All that and more right after the Biz Dev theme.
Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.
In the year 2001, I was working at Manhattanville College. Now, Toth Event Staffing, the company I own and founded in 2011, was built from my experience in the food service industry. And this is one of those moments, Manhattanville College from about 2001 to 2003. Sometimes I sort of exaggerate the time in my own mind that I spent much longer 4 years there, even I'll say to myself and say to others, just because I spent 6 days a week there from 9:30 a.m. till 9:30 p.m., 10 p.m., a lot of nights, sometimes later. So I spent a good deal of my life there. I felt like I lived there even though I didn't sleep there. So that experience, I had a great manager. His name was Boris Ayala. And, I was recruited into the bookkeeper, office manager role, and then quickly moved because I wasn't that fantastic at that role into the cafeteria manager role, and I did really well there. It was a rough schedule, but I was young. I dealt with it, but I enjoyed communicating with people. I enjoyed the work, right? I was a people pleaser for sure. And so working with people was enjoyable. And as I got into the role in terms of managing the cafeteria, there was lots of kitchen staff, lots of staff on the front of the house, deli, different lines. You can see I have some photos of the cafeteria here. There was a big salad bar in the middle, lots of different stations, lots of different things to fill. And so when, I was working with people, if there was a challenge or a problem, something needed to be done, I jumped in. I was all over it. My kindness, it was nice. People enjoyed that, but it would have killed me if I didn't have a great manager that provided mentorship for me and I don't want to say coach because it was definitely mentorship. Coaching is, you get somebody and they're leading you through tasks and, they're giving you step by step. But Boris Ayala was a true mentor in the sense that he gave me the advice and let me kind of go and make some of my own mistakes. And so I'm going through that role. I'm learning Spanish. Boris was bilingual. I was inspired by that as well. A lot of the staff were foreign-born, Latino. So I was getting into it. I met my wife while I was at Manhattanville College. It was a fun time. As I sort of got into it, though, I was running through the roles, running around doing stuff. And, there was a lot of advice coming at me. And one of these pieces of advice, among many, but one of these pieces of advice as I was, going and helping my friends with the dishwashing and then going over here to help with something in the kitchen and then going and grabbing the soup container, right, and running out. And usually I wouldn't have the jacket on, so I'd be running around and I soup bowl was heavy, full of soup, right? And so I'd put that up against my shirt and, carry it out. And Boris told me, hey, don't carry anything against your body. And, I'm running around like, okay, sure. there was lots of advice, right? There was advice on how to communicate with staff. I wanted to fire the night cafe manager. He was literally sleeping on the job. We knew this. That was getting tons of complaints. But in the coaching, or the mentorship, well, who else was going to fill that role? Who else was going to do it? What about the ways that person came through? So I got to start seeing the bigger picture. So it was lots of advice that way, lots of advice on how to answer the comment question box. And we were really good about answering all of the students' questions and comments and providing feedback to the students and letting them know about the inner workings of the cafeteria, the menu, all that good stuff. There was lots of advice. But there were certain things where, I'm carrying the soup carry, against your body. Yeah. I'm just yesing them. And to this day, and even saying this now, it's an epiphany moment. I looked down at my shirt one day, and there was, sure enough, there was a line going just across my shirt and my tie. Luckily not the jackets, but it was from carrying something up against my body. And what happens if you're carrying stuff that has food or any kind of container, it's dirty, you're carrying it against your clothes are going to get dirty. Now, if you're not making $1 million, but even if you are, making your clothes dirty, it's embarrassing, you're going to ruin clothes. And so it was just one of those moments where it's like, man, this guy doesn't open his mouth unless he has something really important to say. And so it was one of those clear moments of recognizing that I had somebody that was looking out for me, that was providing really good advice, and I needed to pay more attention to just about everything that this man said. For a lot of folks, you look to different people in your lives. Maybe you look to historical figures. For Boris Ayala, Boris Ayala was one of these mentors that really defined the way that I look at service and taking care of people. And, in looking at the way that he provided leadership, so much of the time when he said something, it meant something because the rest of the time he was listening. And so that was really big and very impactful for me. You want to make sure that you're listening to that advice. You want to make sure that you're listening to the people that are working with you. You never know, right? There's going to be a time when you sort of, yes, and then you're sitting there staring down like, oh, that's why they said what they said. This has really helped me a lot in my own career with starting Toth event staffing, listening to people, understanding that when somebody is saying something, no matter how high or low they are on the ladder, that there may be a really good reason for it. So before dismissing it out of hand, really take it into account and not looking a gift horse in the mouth. If you have somebody that's above you, that's willing to talk you, guide you, give you some advice, really leaning into that and taking that is really important. I hope this was helpful for you. I had a good time telling the story. Make sure if you're carrying the pot, right, you're carrying it away from your clothes. You don't want to end up with that line against your shirt. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow.
Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.